PCOD is called as PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease, or it was formerly also known as Stein-Leventhal syndrome. It is seen in up to 6% of reproductive women, so 6%, and almost like 5 to 10% they may suffer from PCOD in the reproductive age group, and it is regarded as most common cause of anovulatory fertility, anovulatory infertility. So remember this, most common cause of anovulatory infertility is PCOD. This may be asked, and the definition says that there should be numerous cystic follicles or follicle cysts underneath the cortex. That is the definition of PCOD. Now the pathogenesis remains a bit unclear. So it is believed that there is some poor regulation of enzymes that is involved in androgen synthesis. So there are different postulates. It says that there could be some hormonal dysregulation due to some high amplitude of GnRH from hypothalamus that leads to increased release of LH. Also, there could be insulin resistance because many of the PCOD women are obese. So insulin and there is a kind of a diabetes also predisposes to that. So insulin resistance could be a factor due to obesity, and insulin resistance also plays a role in stimulating the theca cell secretion, and there is increased androgen synthesis. There is increased androgen synthesis. So increased androgens that get converted in the fat tissue to estrogen formation, and this estrogen or estrogen blocks FSH production. Now, if there is no FSH, there is no oocyte development, and there is block in the secretion of estradiol, and subsequently the follicles, the immature follicles, they degenerate, and they degenerate into cyst. So that is believed to be under the pathogenesis of PCOD. So most importantly, we will always see that there is very high level of LH that is consistently observed, and FSH may be normal or decreased. So LH FSH ratio that should be more than 2 ideally for the diagnosis of PCOD. So PCOD are also diagnosed by ultrasound, radiological investigations, and MRI studies also help in seeing multiple cysts. So clinical features include oligomenorrhea. There is development of terminal hair, or there is a hirsutism that is seen in majority of them, and it may result in the androgen excess may result in acne. There is rarely even virilism also may be seen. There are anovulatory cycles, there are dysmenorrhea, and there is high preponderance to develop endometrial hyperplasia, and endometrial cancer also may be seen in later parts of the women suffering from PCOD. So the lab diagnosis includes increased testosterone, dihydroepiandrosterone that is increased. So all androgens are increased. Increased anti-Mullerian hormone that is secreted by the immature follicles, because there are large number of immature follicles. So we can see increased AMH usually in the initial part of PCOD. There is increased LH that is consistently seen, normal to low FSH, and estrogen level also may be increased or normal. And the diagnosis also, clinical diagnosis, apart from clinical lab diagnosis, as I told earlier, it is conferred by ultrasound and MRI examination that reveals multiple cysts underneath the ovary. So morphology shows a large number of cysts that usually varies from 0.5 to 1.5 centimeters. So multiple small cysts are there. So you can see the multiple small cysts, usually subcortical in location. And microscopically, when we see there is a thickened fibrotic superficial cortex, and that lodges multiple cystic follicles. Many of immature follicles may be seen. The stroma may be hyperplastic, and there is hyperplasia of theca antennae is seen, and many of the times the theca cells undergo luteinization as well. Due to anovulation, usually corpus lutea is lacking. So because there is no ovulation, so corpus luteum, usually corpus luteum, corpus albicans may not be appreciated. Treatment part includes the ovulatory induction drug, that is clomiphene citrate, which acts to increase the FSH level and thereby correcting the abnormality, or directly we may inject this recombinant FSH that has also been found equally useful. And weight loss is an important thing. Weight loss corrects the insulin resistance. Obviously, if the lady is advised to have a weight loss, that is clinically believed to have a dramatic improvement in insulin resistance, and thereby causing many of the abnormalities, many of the androgen excess and other hormonal abnormalities are itself corrected by weight loss. There is another condition which is known as stromal hypertrichosis that may be seen usually in postmenopausal women, but sometimes it overlaps with PCOS and may be seen in the reproductive age group, just like that of PCOS. It is called as stromal hyperplasia. So it is an isolated stromal hyperplasia, usually presents as a bilateral uniform enlargement of ovaries. Ovaries may be markedly enlarged, and usually there are no cysts. So no cysts are there if it is solely present. Sometimes PCOS may be there associated with this. So in that condition, there may be cyst as well. But there is in stromal hypertrichosis, so if it is isolated, we get bilateral enlargement. Wide to 10 appearance is seen on sectioning, and microscopically it reveals hypercellular stroma. There is luteinization of the stromal cells, just like that of PCOS also may shows luteinization. Here also it may seen, but the stroma is markedly hypercellular, that demarcates it from that of PCOS, and also there is no cyst. So clinical features are almost similar to that of PCOD or PCOS, but here the virilization may be striking. Now you may be you should know what is hirsutism and virilization. Hirsutism is the development of terminal hair in the androgen sensitive areas such as lips, back, and other parts of the body, whereas virilization is the masculine symptoms. It is the extreme form of hirsutism. There are masculine body features that develops, that is known as virilization. So let's wind up this PCOD important presentation with a case discussion. So 21-year-old woman experienced menarche at the age of 14 years, had regular menstrual cycle for next 3 years. For the past 3 years, she had oligomenorrhea. So just note that oligomenorrhea, and hirsutism is also there. She noticed a 10 kg weight gain. Okay. Then on pelvic examination, there are no vaginal or cervical lesions. The uterus is normal in size. The adnexa are prominent. Pelvic ultrasound scan shows each ovary is twice the normal size, whereas the uterus is normal in size. Which of the following condition, or what is the exact diagnosis of this particular entity? So here you can see that there is oligomenorrhea, there is hirsutism, there is a 10 kg weight gain is there, and ultrasound shows enlarged ovary. So all the features are in keeping with the diagnosis of PCOD, because we have oligomenorrhea, hirsutism, weight gain at 21-year-old of age, and PCOD is revealing enlarged ovary. So all features are consistent with the diagnosis of PCOD. So I hope you grab the important facts. So just to recapitulate, quick recapitulation, this PCOD is characterized by multiple superficial cortical cysts, and the cysts are also associated many a times with hyperplasia of theca cells, and even luteinization may be seen. And there is androgen excess, there is LH FSH ratio is more than 2, that is commonly being asked in your exams. LH FSH ratio is higher, increase anti-Mullerian hormone may be seen, and the estrogen and FSH level may vary, but the most consistent finding is increase androgen level, increase LH level, and increase AMH level. And the ultrasound and MRI study reveals enlarged ovary and cystic multiple cysts are there. So these are all the cardinal features of PCOD. So hope you learned all the facts. So please try to watch this video again and again, and to grab the important facts and recapitulate the things. So see you all in the next video. Thank you for your patient hearing.